Hi Aries, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your April 2024 career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at your job, your career, your finances. Where is it that you are with your money, your wealth, your self-worth? This is a huge month, Aries. You all are the darlings of the month because there is just so much energy in your sign. Remember, we are already into eclipse season as we came out of March with that Libra eclipse. We will have your total eclipse on the 8th. We also start with Mercury retrograding in your sign on the 1st of the month. And then we will also have that full moon in Scorpio towards the end of the month, as well as that huge conjunction between Uranus and Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So Aries, lots of energy. So if you haven't already looked at those Aries general tarot readings, take a look in the description box below, or you can just go to the homepage and you will also see them there. Okay. So Aries, let's get right into it. I do want to thank each and every one of you for your likes, subscribes, and comments. Thank you to my new readers, followers, whatever you want to call you all. Thank you all for helping me grow this channel. It's always so nice to hear from you. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you're looking forward to in the month of April, because it is a dynamic and exciting month. I have listed all the dates below. Let's go week by week. You start off with the Queen of Swords, first week of April. You also have the Queen of Wands. So two queens start off your month here. Second week of April, you have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, along with the Four of Cups. Third week of April finds you with the Queen of Pentacles. Lots of queens here, Aries, as well as the Nine of Wands. That last week of the month, you do have the Seven of Wands in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands also in reverse. So ending with quite a bit of fiery energy here, Aries. Like I said, I already see like a lot of court cards here, three queens on the ground, as well as that knight. So let's go ahead and pull this is going to be a card that represents what you're coming out of March with, okay? So remember, we did have that Libra full moon eclipse. Was there something that came up around there, around your relationships? Let's see what you are bringing into the month of April. And you have Temperance. So the Temperance card is that energy of Sagittarius. So for many of you all, fellow fire sign, you all could have dealt with some relationships, dealing with how to temper, opposing sides, or maybe you all were traveling, or maybe you were dealing with foreign lands, foreign people. All of those Sagittarian conversations could have been coming up throughout the month of March. And there also, there also could have been a tempering of your personality, meaning like maybe you came into a new situation where you're usually a lot more open-minded and strong-willed, and you had to temper that some. I do think some of that is going to come into play as you move into March with that come into April. I do think some of that Sagittarian energy could be needed, and especially some of that fire versus water, being able to temper your mood, but also being able to temper all of that Mars have to go combative. The lower sides of Mars tend to be a little more pushy, making sure you're not doing that throughout the month of April, okay? All right, Aries, let's go ahead and pull an overarching theme card. This is going to be representative of what it is that Spirit wants to send you in form of an oracle message, okay? Okay, we're going to take that card. And you have Nine of Fire. So more fire energy here, Aries, makes a lot of sense, right? So that Nine of Wands or Nine of Fire, I think is interesting because you also have the Nine of Wands here that third week of the month. So Spirit is already talking to you. It says, don't give up. Protect that which you have created. Have courage and believe in yourself. And Aries, I do think that you all are one of the few signs that has any problems with courage. But Spirit wants to remind you, you still have to make sure you are being considerate of others, making sure you are tempering your courage so it's not overbearing. And I do think throughout the month of April, this is going to be possibly a challenge for some of you because you all are used to being able to like go in with gusto, with guns a-blazing. And this month may not be the month that you're going to be able to get everything that you want, or it may not all manifest in the way that you envisioned it in your head. So really keep this in mind throughout the month, but keep up that fire inside, okay? Even if it's not something that you can show always on the outside, make sure you're not giving up and making sure you're still feeling good about your mission. And I do think, Aries, that's going to be really important as you come through this month, especially since Mercury is slowing down some of those, reactionary type modes for you. Because remember, communication, Mercury rules that. And since it is in your sign this month, things may not go the way that you were envisioning before, okay? So let's look at the month as a whole. So as a whole, I do think it's interesting that you have so many of these really influential, important queens on the plate, okay? Like that first week of the month, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, some type of conversations around money, moving forward, possibly in a position, possibly some influential people have been looking at you, Aries. I do sense that someone could be receiving some kind of notoriety, but also maybe someone may feel like they've been looked over for a position. I think, who was right before Aquarius? Pisces. I think Pisces may have gotten a little bit of that energy too, of feeling like you were looked over for a position. So if you have any Pisces placements in your chart, you may want to watch their reading as well. Then down here with the Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, reoccurring theme with that Nine of Fire, kind of looking over your shoulder, feeling like you've been through a lot. Another Queen here now in reverse. So there's this suggestion that the important people that you were working with at the beginning of the month could come back to you in a different fashion, or this could be a totally different group of people, but interesting to see all those queens. And then when you get to the end of the month with that Knight of Wands and Seven of Wands, like this last week, 2 weeks of the month, lots of fire energy. And that is when Mars does move into your sign on the 30th. So I think that's what some of this Knight of Wands, Seven of Wands, holding your ground, feeling like you're having to like defend yourself. So keep all that in mind throughout the rest of the month, okay, Aries? So let's go week by week. Let's break it down a little further. I do think, like I mentioned, that there are some important people talking to you, talking about you in that first week of the month. This is when we have Mercury you can already tell Mercury is stationing with all of my flubbed up words, so I'm sorry. That first week of April, Mercury stations retrograde in the sign of Aries on April 1st. The Sun conjuncts the North Node in Aries on the 4th, and then Venus enters your sign on the 4th as well. This is a lot of startup energy, Aries. Be prepared for some type of conversations, people talking, big meetings possibly being held. This could be a time when your company is coming together for like town hall meeting, or wanting to talk to the entire company, or talking to groups or segments of the company. Some type of important decision, announcement could be made at the beginning of April. So really pay attention to what the higher ups are saying. You may be one of those people who are part of the management or the C-suite, or part of that big management team. Just be really cognizant of how your words come across, especially during those first few weeks of the month when Mercury is retrograde, because that is going to be a time when everyone's a little more sensitive. They're really wanting to hear what's going on, okay? That second week of April finds you with the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Cups, both, no, the Six of Pentacles is in reverse, Four of Cups is upright. During this time, though, this is when your total solar eclipse new moon occurs in Aries on April 8th. That same day, the sun is conjunct Chiron, okay? Chiron is that wounded healer energy. So please make sure you're not too into your feelings. Make sure you're brushing stuff off. Comments come along that you're not really happy about, just like ignore them if you can. That's what that Four of Cups is showing me. Ignore if you're passed over for something important, or maybe just not deal with it at that time. Maybe choose another time to approach the higher ups or your manager if you feel like you have been passed over, or if you are giving to a different group of people. There's some kind of conversations being had where everyone isn't getting their fair share, okay, with that Six of Pentacles. And I do think that that's going to be important during this eclipse time, because so many things are getting like eclipsed in and eclipsed out. And I do think this Nine of Fire is like, hold your ground, still stay courageous. You might not get everything you want right now, okay? Nine of Wands energy still here with that third week of the month. This is when we have the sun entering Taurus on the 19th. One day later, this is when we have that Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus on the 20th. And then a few days later on the 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio. So more of that Mars energy, okay, Aries? So Queen of Pentacles in reverse is suggesting that another higher up person, or possibly a whole other entity like a mother figure or someone who has helped you throughout your career, could come in and kind of talk you off the ledge, if you will, meaning like you may be ready to leave a company, or you may be not happy with how things are transpiring through the month. And this Queen of Pentacles is like, calm down, let's talk about it. You don't have to have a decision right now. It just feels like there's this conversation with you, Aries, throughout the month that's like, okay, you don't have to figure it all out now. You don't have to act now, okay? So keep that in mind with that Nine of Fire. Okay, so you end the month with more fire energy. Seven of Wands, Knight of Wands, both in reverse. By the time you end the month, we do have Mercury retrograde ending in your sign on the 25th. But we will have that post shadow in through mid-May, okay? So we're still going to be in that Mercury kind of coming out, conversations coming out. And I do think that Venus entering Taurus on the 29th and then Mars entering your sign on the 30th will bring more of that fire, more of that like, let's get going, let's get something done. I think that with this Knight of Wands and Seven of Wands, both in reverse, you're in this kind of mode where you're wanting to get stuff done, but Mercury is still moving slowly. You're still having to deal with the fallout of whatever happened back in the eclipse area. But I also think that that conjunction that happened on the 20th, you could hear some news at that time that leads to some really big blessings, but you can't act on it yet. And I do think that's what these wands in reverse are like. You're trying to get going, you're trying to get some traction, but you're going to have to be patient, okay? And I think, Aries, that's going to have to be your theme kind of throughout the month of April, is like, yes, these big things are happening, but you may not be able to act on them or see any kind of real traction until you get way into May and even possibly into June. Let some of this energy play out. I do think that that Nine of Fire is like, yeah, still be courageous, but you're going to have to be patient, okay? So big month for you, Aries. Do take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series, and I hope you all have a great Aries season. It is your season. Have a great Aries season in April, and I'll talk to you later.